So sisters and brothers, let me begin my remarks by first off acknowledging the great efforts of the strikers. Indeed, many people before me have said 84 strikers on a picket line for 752 days, and not one of those strikers crossed the picket line. I think that's a tremendous achievement, and I can only begin to imagine the amount of hardship that's contained within those numbers. Could you practically try to imagine 2 solid years without an income coming into your home, all of the turmoil that must create both in the home and in the community. Think about putting just basics on the table, the bread on the table, paying the mortgage, paying the car payments, kids wanting to go to university, buying books for kids who have to go to university, even just kids going back to school. How difficult that must be for 2 solid years. That's the kind of pain and suffering that goes on behind these types of strikes. And for the Premier today to basically say we don't need legislation in this province because there's only a handful of strikes out there, he said, therefore we don't need legislation to deal with this problem. That's just completely ignoring the fact that there are literally thousands of workers impacted by this on an annual basis. Thousands of workers who go through this turmoil every single time we have a strike. Even when we go to the bargaining table, we know for a fact that the employer will threaten us with bringing in scabs unless we open up our collective agreements and give them the concessions that they're looking for. So it has a huge impact across the labour movement, far beyond the 5 or 6 strikes or 10 strikes in a year. But nonetheless, those 10 strikes still deserve a piece of legislation. We've got to go after the bad actors. Yes, 97% of all collective agreements get settled on an annual basis without having to go on strike. But the 2.5% of those collective agreements that end up in a strike situation deserve the attention and legislation in this province. It's akin to saying that because we've only got 2% of the population ever get behind the wheel of a car and when they're drunk and they start driving, that we don't need legislation to deal with drunk drivers. Of course we do. Likewise, we need legislation to deal with the bad actors like ECP that kick workers to the sideline for 2 solid years and take advantage of those workers. What they're doing is basically abuse. They're abusing the system and they're abusing their employees. And we need this government to step up to the plate and say, stop the abuse, give us a fighting chance at the bargaining table, allow us to be able to negotiate in good spirits at a table and balance the collective bargaining environment in this province by giving us protection against scabs coming across our line for 752 days, 2 solid years. So my friends, as a result of today, I also want to thank all of the unions that have come out here. Yes, I can see it's not a massively large number of people, but by God, it's been effective. Those workers who come out here today, I want to really thank you from the bottom of my heart because you stopped them producing their goods and services for 3 solid days. But beyond that, the message has gone across the province. I don't know if any of you are on the internet today, but we've had coverage from CBC, CTV, City TV, CHCH, Canadian Press, all of the local media in terms of radio, all of the local media in terms of the newspapers. The Toronto Star, Toronto Sun are all picking this story up. This is the beginning of something, my friends. It's not the end. It's only the beginning. We've yet to see. Tomorrow, the Canadian auto workers are coming out here to stand in solidarity. And of course then, come Friday, you're going to have the USW from across the province coming in here as well. But let's not forget that the nurses are here, OSSTF is here, we still have the CAW here today, and many other unions like CUPE have backed up this strike. So as I say, SCIU I see in the background as well. So thank you very much, sisters and brothers. Teamsters was out, Lewuna was out. So there's a lot of folks coming out here today to show the support. This campaign is not going to end, believe me. We ought to come back here, like Fred Hahn said, the next time unannounced, in the next couple of weeks, and shut down this production once again. Let this employer know that there will be no peace on this picket line or in this community until we get a decent collective agreement that we can hold our head high and go back to work with dignity and with respect and being able to earn a decent living. My friends, this fight has got to continue. We've got to take it out to the 5 other strikes that's happening in this province. And this cannot just be about the Brantford strike, and you've said that, and you appreciate that, and you understand that. I need to go back to the OFL, need to get the permission from the union leadership of this province to say, yes, we want to put some money into this strike. I want to thank the Brantford Labour Council and USW 1500 for having the intestinal fortitude to put this onto the agenda in this province and show the labour movement that when you come together, you can do magnificent things. You can really put some really pressure on the employers in this province. And that's what the Brantford Labour Council has done, and I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart for doing that. We've got 50 other Labour Councils in the province. Let's make sure that they get on board as well. And we have a campaign that's going to say to Gilles, to France of the NDP, that we'll be there in November when you put the legislation on that floor for the debate. Let's pack the legislature chambers with people who've been on strike, and let the Tories and let the Liberals take a look into the eyes of strikers who've been on a picket line for 2 solid years. Go down there, my friends. Tell your story to the politicians. Tell your stories to the media down at Queen's Park, and let's get this message out across the province and once and for all put an end to scabs in Ontario. Thank you very much for coming out here today.